Got it.
Yep.
Pretty good?
Yeah.
Okay, calling the meeting of the Commissioners of Warren County to order. It's June 9th. Would everyone please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance and immediately following a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. This meeting is being recorded, and anything said in the meeting will become part of public record. Since the last time the Board of Commissioners met, Commissioner Durbin and I have had two meetings, informational only. One was regarding commercial property assessed clean energy, namely an outside firm was asking that we pursue a resolution that would allow a CPACE program in Warren County. More to come on that. If we're interested in pursuing it, it'll be on an agenda with information in the future. And that was on the 17th. On the 16th, we had a call with Mobilecom, the school district, regarding broadband. Again, Mobilecom was a provider that we had an agreement with last year, but we were not able to meet the deadline. So we're kind of picking that conversation back up to see if they could provide broadband internet in the county. I'm not aware of any correspondence to bring before the public. Hearing none. On the agenda, you see the agenda for you today. Minutes from June 9th, both public meeting and public hearing are before you. Any questions, comments, corrections? Hearing none. Fiscal report.
As of Monday, we had $1,747,869 in the general fund and $744,899 in the Erie Bank general account. We are still working on corrected pooled cash, and we are getting a lot closer. We have half the accounts are corrected, so we still have a little ways to go. The external auditors began their audit last week, so there'll be a lot more to come with that as they work through the audit.
Questions, comments? All right. Last on the consent agenda for this morning or afternoon, National Disability Voter Registration Week. I will call upon Crystal Ransom to read the proclamation.
Do you want me to stand?
Yes,
please. Love to. National Disability Voter Registration Week is July 12th through the 16th, and it reads as, whereas in July, people with disabilities and our supporters celebrate the anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act. Whereas there are over 50 million people with disabilities of all ages living in communities throughout the United States. And whereas the disability community has critical interest in policies enacted at local, state, and national levels, the effect of the integration of people with disabilities, young and old, into our communities, and whereas getting the disability community involved in influencing public policies is essential if these policies are to meet the real needs of people with disabilities to live in the community. Whereas voting is one way for the disability community to exert their influence at local, state, and national elections, and whereas there are multiple efforts to develop state disability coalitions around the issue of voting. You guys make me kind of nervous.
Good.
It's working. Whereas Rev Up America, which is register, educate, vote, and use your power as a national effort to encourage state and local disability community voting coalitions, and whereas members of National Disability Rights Community are organizing a National Disability Voter Registration Week, July 12th through the 16th, 2021. Therefore, be it resolved that the leadership of the Warren County, Pennsylvania supports the growing involvement of the disability community and the political process, and be it further resolved that the leadership of Warren County, Pennsylvania designates the week of July 12th through the 16th as National Disability Voter Registration Week, adopted this 23rd day of June 2021.
Thank you very much. Any comments from the voter registration office? Or from your office?
No comments.
Anything from the commissioners? Very good. At this time, I'd ask for a motion to approve the agenda, the minutes, the fiscal report, and that proclamation.
I'll make the motion.
Second. Motion made and seconded. Discussion. All those in favor of the motion, please state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. There's no old business on the agenda. New business, number 1. Remedy Analytics is the first agreement on slate today. Remedy, I've explained before in work sessions, they have done an analysis of our prescription costs. They should basically benchmarked it against other counties and such and found some savings. Lisa, is that a fair summation? Is there anything you wanted to add?
Absolutely. It's quite significant savings, and anytime we can save money, we say yes.
Absolutely. So we've worked with Mark Kilburn at DJB for several months now to do this analysis, and I've been very pleased with everyone's work on it. Lisa's been on at least 1 or 2 calls with me, and I know I've explained it to you in work sessions, so unless there's further questions or discussion, I would ask for a motion to approve Remedy Analytics agreement.
I'll make the motion to approve the Remedy Analytics agreement.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. I should highlight again that we are not paying them anything except out of a portion of what they save us. If you've heard the motion, all those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next on the agenda is a proposal from Innovative Orange. They are our Laser Fiche value-added reseller, and I saw there's Bill. Bill, would you mind telling us what this upgrade related to Laser Fiche is?
Yeah, our Laser Fiche is our document imaging system. We've had this document imaging system for approximately 18 years. It houses roughly 2.5 million images, documents. The last time we did any upgrade of significance was approximately 10 years ago. So it is in need of a upgrade. So what you have in front of you is a upgrade, software upgrade. We're also doing a hardware upgrade at the same time, a new server, software upgrade. This is for a 3-year term. It includes also a data conversion from the old version of the software to the latest version of the software, convert the data, as well as 3-year term of expense. So it's kind of an all-inclusive upgrade. Includes the consulting services, software upgrade, and 3-year terms of recurring expense. So that gets us out, 3 years from where we're at now. So we'd like to recommend that this is approved by the commissioners so that we can continue to not only store, image our documents, but get some new features on our document imaging system so that we're able to do some additional things, some workflow processing, and a few other items that we can take advantage of and actually do more than store and index documents. If there are any questions that I could answer, I might be more than willing to do so.
I'd like to add a couple quick things. First is that this has been on the horizon for a while, but we're not really planning on replacing it or upgrading this year. I think the impetus is twofold. Number one, it's eligible from ARP funds standpoint. Second of all, the forms and workflows and such that we will be able to do with the upgraded software will enable us to have more online access to some of the services that the county provides. So it could cut down on foot traffic, it could be particularly helpful in a post-COVID world or a current COVID Delta, whatever world. So we can provide services to our constituents mostly through the web in certain circumstances. So that's the importance of it and why it's eligible for the ARP funding. I wanted to thank Bill. So over the years, he's said multiple times, I don't know why you're looking at X software or Y software, because Laser Fiche could actually do that. And it never really connected until we did a demo, whatever, a few months ago, and it just all started to click with the government management system coming into play, the need for online access to some of our services and such. So it's become, I think, a very, very poignant project, and I want to thank you for your diligence to getting the quotes and everything, and getting us weeding through many proposals actually to get us to what we need. And of course, your constant expert price negotiating.
So, appreciate that, and it's something that gets us to where we need to be. So I think that if it is something the commissioners can approve, that allows us to get the software moved forward, not only with what we have, but to allow us with that web presence on it and the other features that it currently does not have.
So there are a bunch of proposals in the system, in our system. There's only one before you, but just to be clear for the purpose of the minutes, this is the Stay on Avante and Add Forms Pro and 500 community users proposal. It's through Innovative Orange, which is our evaluated reseller. Grand total is $60,244.25.
So this will actually allow people to have remote access to documents that they have to physically come here for now?
That would be correct. So anything that we have in the repository would be able to be accessed through a web presence, through a mobile phone, through multiple different types of access points would be the easiest way to explain it. It just depends on how we would want to present those forms, those documents, those images.
Right.
So it gives us much more capability than what we have today. What we do today is image, index, and a select few people in those departments are using, I mean, we have millions of images, but it's really used as a image warehouse today, and not as much a forms repository for the public to be able to access forms. I shouldn't say forms, images, documents, and that kind of thing. So it opens up the capability and that workflow process that I think gives us much more capability in the system.
It's exciting.
Yes,
I
it
love
is.
process improvements.
Me too.
Yeah, that's what it is. I mean, that's exactly
yeah,
what it
it's
is.
yeah, that's great.
I just add that this is part of the overall effort to go paperless, as much as possible, and this assists with it, so I definitely support it.
That's exactly what this is.
All right, if there is nothing further, I would ask for a motion to approve the Innovative Orange, it's almost saying Agent Orange.
Of course.
Innovative Orange proposal for $60,000.
I'll make that motion to approve the Innovative Orange proposal for a 3-year commitment of $63,415.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. You've heard the motion. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Commissioner Eggleston, would you present our representative for the talk request? Thank you, Bill.
Yeah, just, there are 3 empty, seems a lot.
You can turn it off, can't you?
There are 3 vacant spaces on the TAWC board. The board has presented 3 replacements. Those are Kelly Neering, Connie Johnson, and Michael Montecalvo. I would make a motion to approve Kelly Neering, Connie Johnson, and Michael Montecalvo to fill the next 5-year term for the TAWC board.
I'll second that motion.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, there's an Act 13 request for environmental initiatives. The Ruth M. Smith Center in Sheffield has requested a $15,000 draw. They are doing a $70,000 project to build a parking area at the Satellite YMCA Community Recreational Building that's at the Ruth M. Smith Center grounds, so that people have better access to the park and the buildings. Planning and Zoning Office has recommended this to us, and it certainly is an eligible use, and we have the funding to do it. Questions?
I'd just make the comment that Kim Adams, the executive director and the administration there, has done a very impressive job of rejuvenating that organization over the past few years. I had the pleasure of touring the facility a little bit a couple months ago and talking to them, and I highly recommend that we approve this grant, because I think both the Satellite YMCA operation, which is very new to Sheffield, a very positive thing, and also the reutilization of the community, the recreational building, which has hadn't been utilized really, is a very positive change too. They've also done a lot of fantastic things with their finances to tighten everything up there and become very solvent. So,
Very good. Did I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the Act 13 grant application for $15,000 by the Ruth M. Smith Center.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, 2020 tax collector agreement. For this, I'd actually asked Solicitor Schmidt to explain it so I don't misrepresent it.
This is possibly best understood as an amendment to the agreement that was passed at the last meeting, where there was an understanding that Youngsville would be reimbursed for costs of tax collection. For 2020, you had approved an agreement at a higher rate for 2021. But this agreement before you covers reimbursement of Youngsville at the rate which was agreed upon for 2021.
Understood. The primary driver was because the last agreement was between the school district, Youngsville Borough, and the county. And this one is just between Youngsville Borough and the county, correct?
I believe so.
I noted that. So the school district doesn't have to be involved then?
Well, they already actually gave that. They
They're already paying the higher amount, and they have been since last year.
I recall that now. I just didn't know if they had to be party to the agreement, but it doesn't sound like it, so. We're just doing our part.
Not required at this point.
Okay.
Any further questions? Hearing none, do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the tax collection retro agreement for 2020.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. All those in favor, please state aye. Motion carries. Next is an agreement with Zelenkovsky and Axelrod for guidance related to the American Rescue Plan funds. Similar to last year, we agreed with them to consult us on this appropriate spending of the CARES Act money. This is our auditing firm, and they did a good job last year. We capped that at $10,000 last year, as I recall, and didn't spend more than $10,000. I would anticipate the same cap. Is that correct, Attorney? Well, there's not a cap written in it, but we'll add it to the motion. We would want it to be capped at 10,000 again.
I'm assuming that the American, what's the term for it again?
Rescue plan.
For American Rescue Plan, it's hard to keep track of all of them. The American Rescue Plan will have some type of administrative function to it, so this
Oh,
will
yeah.
tie in.
Yeah.
And I think it's in there, that's in
Yeah,
part
it just had to do with the bidding requirements, as I recall, that you wanted it to be under 10,000.
I think the bidding limit for the CARES Act that we did last year was related to provisions within the CARES Act.
Oh, okay, so maybe
Yeah,
that's
so-
the case.
Yeah, I mean, this is a professional services, agreement. I mean, bidding is not required, it's really what the, it's really what the commissioners require to, receive the advice they need.
Well, then let's not put any arbitrary limit on it.
Yes.
And, approve it as is. I hear a motion to approve the ZNA agreement.
I will make that motion to approve the ZNA agreement.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please state aye.
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 Motion carries. Last, resolution 3,183, which is with Youngsville Television, authorizing them to apply for grants on the grants.gov website on behalf of the county. Attorney Schmidt, did you want to say anything more on that?
Just given some updates on this recent meetings, but this resolution is essentially it's reciprocal to a resolution that I believe was passed by Youngsville TV to enter into this common partnership with the county there's apparently $288 million being made available to apply for grants through this notice of funding opportunity through the National Telecommunications and Information Administration for the installation of broadband resources in underserved and unserved rural areas. The grants will be between $5 and $30 million. There's a 44-page, spec that has to be put together. So we've done our best just to have beginning conversations to apply for these funds. So the next step will be looking with Youngsville TV to put that application together. Commissioner Gervin, I don't know if you have anything else you want to say.
No, I think that's good. The grant would be, it would be a county grant if I recall correctly.
That's-
So the funds would come to the county for build out broadband.
Yeah, the county is best
Yeah.
understood as the primary applicant.
Right.
Though it's going to, each applicant it'll be a covered partnership. Basically, where the plan will be proposed to the NTIA as to how the resources will be utilized, but ultimately the county will be primary in terms of management of the grant and ultimately ownership of any hard resources that are purchased with those monies.
Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion to approve resolution 3,183.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Any commissioner comments? I've got a couple. First of all, I wanted to welcome Alex Turbide, who's job shadowing for the day. If you have a few minutes afterwards, please get to know him. I really appreciate having the opportunity to share a little bit about what the county government does and where it doesn't do. Love to have employees like you in the future, Alex. So thanks for coming. June 30th in the evening, there is a very important meeting with Jerry Ozog, the Fire Services Committee and EMS Council and the county are kind of co-sponsoring this event where we hope to have representation from every municipality and every fire department in the county. And of course, anyone from the Commissioner's Office or the county are welcome. You can RSVP directly with Paul Pascuzzi, and thanks Pam for helping to coordinate that event. This is the first meeting I believe we've had since Susan Tonchuk, that's it,
Gotcha.
joined us as the new CEO of the Rouse. And finally, at our, I am working with a couple of people from Penn State Barron to host a regional economic development event summit. We're eyeing the probably early October timeframe at Penn State Barron. I'll let you know more when we've had our first planning meeting, but the idea would be to talk about what themes, I guess, particularly as it pertains to like manufacturing, this region could capitalize on. And at the last Conservation District Board meeting, there was an important topic brought up. That is namely a deer in Russell was found to be with chronic wasting disease. I actually had not, I somehow missed that in the news, but it was in the news. That is a significant thing for us because there's going to be demarcation zones. The nature of harvesting deer is going to change in the Elk, Pine Grove, Farmington, Sugar Grove region. There's going to probably be an ask of the county to, for instance, have a roll-off dumpster on our property to dump animal parts and such. So more to come. I've invited the DCNR specialist to come to a future work session in order to give you more details, but this is no insignificant thing. It's going to be at minimum a 5-year process of investigation and monitoring, and I believe the clock extends another 5 years anytime there's another case found. Protein apparently is surprisingly, I won't say viral, but it lives a long time, maybe upwards of 20-some years. So,
Wow.
yeah, if a deer dies of like chronic wasting and leaves any of these proteins even on the ground, another deer conceivably could come acquire it 20 years later. It's really, could be pretty scary. My hope is that it's highly isolated and it's just that one. We'll just be monitoring for 5 years and that's it. But
Do we have a liaison with the Game Commission on this, as well as the DCNR?
I guess that would be me. Well, so they're working with the Conservation District, and I'm the representative of the Conservation
Okay.
District. So, yeah, it could be a game changer. So, anyway, more information to come. I believe that's all the announcements for me. Anything to do?
Do you have anything today?
Then I will ask for the much coveted motion to adjourn.
I will make that most coveted motion to adjourn.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned at 12:31.